This fall, the writer-director duo behind some of my favorite comedies in recent memory are back with something brand new. Joining me to chat about Mayday, John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so this is a brand new buddy comedy set 40 years ago? 1987, Cold War era Russia. Why then and why now?
It was the best year. Inarguably. No. We wanted to do a period comedy for quite some time. We were inspired by some of our favorite buddy comedies from that era because they were so uniquely heartfelt and high-staked. And we also just wanted to be able to put our own spin on something like that.
Any particular buddy comedies in particular that this draws from?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my favorites were Midnight Run, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, 48 Hours, Silver Streak. I think I watched Silver Streak at my bar mitzvah party. Oh, so that gives you some idea of my nerdiness.
Now, John, you'd probably remember of like a little bit less of 1987 than you do.
I don't know what you're suggesting.
I don't. Yeah, that feels a little bit loaded. But has there been any sort of anachronisms you've had to course correct, or is there any like historical accuracy? You're like, that wasn't like that at all.
Well, I had a very sharp mind at 2 years old, so I remembered everything. I remembered my birth, which was unpleasant.
It was a good one.
I was immersed in videotapes of movies that came before me. Also, Misery was a huge inspiration for this film. The first act is basically a comedic misery, and that we have these two sort of strangers thrust upon each other where neither really trusts the other one. But no, I mean, I kind of am a child of the 80s and grew up watching all of this stuff as well.
Now, back in 2005, you were in a little movie called Waiting with Ryan Reynolds. He didn't let you get a word in edgewise there, and now you're directing him. What was it like working with him on this?
Well, I made him not speak this time. He does not say a single word in this film. It's kind of a first time for Ryan. No, look, I was very excited to be able to work with him again because we had such a weird and fun experience on that film however many years ago. And you know, he had reached out when Game Night came out, said he was a huge fan, and said we should work on something together. So when this idea came into our minds, and we knew that it would take only one of maybe three actors to get it made because it is a period action comedy set in the Soviet Union, which is not necessarily a huge sell unless you have a big star that's driving it. He wanted to do it, and we were so delighted.
And I was in a movie with Kenneth Brana when I was a teen. No, that's not true.
Hamlet, right?
Hamlet. Yeah, no, Ken Brana joined us, and it was the perfect synergy because who expects that pairing of Ryan and Ken? But as it turns out, it's what everybody needed and didn't know.
How did Kenneth Branagh get involved? Because like, I mean, he's a prolific playwright, actor, director, and you're like, okay, goof around, do silly stuff.
Well,
What's that like?
I think when an actor like that gets an offer like this, they get excited about it because they don't get sent too many action comedies with a big, sort of popcorn movie star to play against. And Ken got into the spirit of the thing. What he did so perfectly was just act the hell out of the role. We never ask a dramatic actor to be funny any more than we did with Jesse Plemons in Game Night. We just said, do what you do and it'll work, and it did.
Very often the funniest actors are the dramatic ones because them sort of playing it as serious as possible is what drives the comedy.
I love it. I get the sense that you guys also allow a lot of breathing room for improv, but I was watching some interviews, and you also do a little bit of sort of improvisation behind the scenes too. I'm like thinking of the rock scene in D&D. Did you throw any curveballs their way and just kind of see what happens? Are there any like notable moments in the movie that are just like a byproduct of something that kind of came together on the fly?
Yeah, we did. We tried some alts several times. We had the advantage of Ryan being sort of a joke machine, and he's so talented at it. But we're also weirdly, we love to stick to the script in many other ways. We are sticklers in that regard. But this was a fun kind of a mashup of improvisation and adherence to our words.
Now you're coming off of this of D&D Honor of Thieves, which is huge, massive spectacle, fantastic. You've got magic, you've got dragons, you've got all this stuff in there, and now you're doing something that is slightly more grounded.
Yeah.
What's it like, kind of going from something high fantasy to something that is more based in reality? And I guess, was there anything you took from having virtually no confines on what's possible to slightly more limitations?
In a weird way, it's liberating to not have that much freedom, which sounds, contradictory. But the truth is, when you're working in the real world, you can have more fun with the freedom to have your characters be who they are and not get caught. You don't have to spend as much time with the CGI and the dragons and all the extensions of sets and all
the
that we
lore.
had to do. Yeah, so we had total freedom. That's what's exciting about Mayday for us, is that in this day and age, getting a movie made like this at this scale with no intellectual property behind it, no video game or movie or comic book, is so gratifying.
A movie that's just a movie
Yeah.
that you just
Can you
go
imagine?
see it and there's
Who'd have
yeah.
thunk?
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, I guess, kind of jerking the wheel there. You guys also wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming. That was almost 10 years ago. He's still out there doing stuff. What's it like seeing a character that you kind of helped establish, or at least that iteration of him?
It's furious.
It's amazing.
It's furious.
It's-
You say it.
I mean, is it like seeing a kid go off to college, or are you just like, I'm good riddance, like, get me out of here?
Truly, no. I mean, the fact that we were able to sort of cultivate this brand new tone between these characters. I mean, the two-hander relationship between him and Ned Leeds. That was the first time they had really done that in any of the Spider-Man properties, because he had always kind of kept it a secret to himself. But we always knew we wanted to have this kind of almost super bad dynamic between these two teens, where one of them is the sounding board and can say how cool it is to be Spider-Man without knowing, the great responsibility that comes with it. That's awesome, and also just like being able to tell a relatively grounded superhero story that now has taken on a life of its own. It's very gratifying.
So we talk a lot about, I guess, superhero fatigue on the part of the audience, but you guys are veterans of multiple superhero movies behind the scenes. You've got, it's hard to, you could throw a rock and you would hit somebody who's been in a superhero movie these days, but Ryan's done Deadpool, Green Lantern, etc. Kenneth Branagh directed Thor. I guess, is there sort of, are you guys sharing war stories? Is there kind of like a mutual, I guess, relief to be just making a regular movie?
Yeah, I think so. I think for all of us, it's fun to just be able to play in something that was in the real world at a particular time in our history that has relevance for what's going on now. That's what we really tried to imbue into this film, is a sense of, we're going through some things now in our global relationships and even in America itself where, we tend to think of the other as an enemy. And this was a time when that was very much the case, and so we wanted to be able to shine a light on it and not have any superpowers involved.
That said, you do still have lots of spectacle and explosions and special effects, but it also seems like there's some good old-fashioned just fight scenes and stuff. Are there any sort of practical sequences you're especially proud of in this movie?
Yeah, I mean, all the fights I think we're very proud of, because we really want to sort of challenge ourselves with each of our action sequences. We love to create set pieces that people haven't necessarily seen before. We're very inspired by Jackie Chan action in that you can see what's going on. You're really putting your stuntmen through the ringer in a responsible way. But also just the fact that it's not cutty, it's not shaky cam. You have a nice big wide camera that's showing real messy stunts. There's something really fun and gratifying about that.
Yeah, we subscribe to the sort of Fred Astaire approach to covering it wide so you can see head to toe and you don't cut constantly. So they're really dancing.
And you've also got, it looks like some big car chases and sequences like that. Any fun anecdotes from producing those?
Yeah, we drove an ICBM, an actual ICBM launch vehicle through Andrassy Square in Hungary. I think anyone who didn't know we were shooting a movie were probably very concerned, because there was also dozens of tanks and military vehicles and about 2,000 extras and crew members that day. It was a massive spectacle, and we're so grateful for Apple to allow us to make something that absolutely huge.
Now, I got to ask, the big thing that happened post Honor Among Thieves was Baldur's Gate 3. Did either of you get a chance to play it? And if so, what kind of character did you roll?
I haven't. I've been
My
too
son-
busy
my son-
writing movies.
Yeah, exactly. My son played it and loved it. I don't know what he was. He might have brought in his character from his actual D&D game, which I think was called Byleth. Don't ask me why, but that's the name.
I needed to take a D&D siesta after that movie, just because it was 24/7.
I get the sense when you sink a bunch of energy into a particular universe, you probably want to go somewhere else, and that's why we're getting something like Mayday.
Exactly.
This isn't a question, really. I guess sort of it is, but Jesse Plemons' iconic line, how can that be profitable for Frito Lay? First of all, thank you for putting that in the universe, because when I'm having a bad day, I pull that up and it never ceases to make me laugh. But filming that scene with Plemons, did you expect that one moment would be like such a breakout thing? Was that lightning in a bottle or
well,
what?
yes
Sort
and
of.
no. What's funny is we did a table read on the Warner Brothers lot before we ever went and shot it. And remember, we were like cracking up at how Jesse was performing it because it was so damn serious. Like he was in
no
a whole,
wink.
He was in a whole other movie, and we knew that we had to get that on camera.
Yeah, and then as we were editing it, I think that's when we started to know that we had lightning in a bottle. In that, like, you know, it's a slow push in on him. Every time we see him, the camera's pushing in. There's no music. It's always cicadas that are getting louder and louder. And anytime we cut away to anyone else, the cicadas, for some reason, stop. And I think at that point, we were very excited to be able to unleash that to audiences. But you never really know until the test screening, and it tested very well, and people were eating it up. And at that point, we were like, we knew we had something.
I love it. I'm very happy you guys have a new movie on the way. I'm excited to check it out. Mayday crash lands on Apple TV globally on September 4th. There's more Comic-Con right here on IGN, so stick around.
Thank you.
Thanks.